My fellow Liberians, our country cannot succeed unless the people of Liberia succeed. The truth is, the Liberia we live in right now is hurting, and we cannot continue down this road. But if we have faith and new political leadership dedicated to working to ensure that Liberia takes its rightful place as a leading nation in Africa, then the suffering of our people will not be the end of our story, merely the beginning. We must decide what type of nation we want to live in, what type of standards we want to set for ourselves, and what type of dreams we want to invest in that will ensure Liberia is the greatest country on the African continent. A new Liberia with modern hospitals in every single district in our country, so that Liberians do not die from preventable diseases and a lack of good and affordable care. A new Liberia with the best schools, well-paid teachers, and well-fed students. A new Liberia that ensures that we will be self-sufficient in our staple food of rice, while having renewed infrastructure that will include the pavement of modern roads to all of our county capitals. We must believe that change is here. And in this new Liberia, we will have practical change that will be both seen and felt. It will be seen because of advances we would make to ensure we have cheap and stable electricity for all. In this new Liberia, we will eliminate government corruption, and our beloved country will be a model for Africa, where transparency becomes the norm and corruption is rooted out. Honesty and integrity will become the cornerstones of our government. When you wake up, there will be jobs for you to go to, new housing estates being built, and you will have your children, as well as your sisters and brothers, being trained as lawyers, doctors, nurses, teachers, engineers, and technicians. If there is one child in Liberia that goes to bed hungry in this new Liberia, it will be one too many. If there is one person in this new Liberia who dies because they do not receive proper medical care, it will be one too many. But in order to change, we must change the very idea of who we elect to lead us, because our people are suffering. Too many Liberians have no food, no jobs, no roads, no hospitals. For far too many, there is no hope. I promise my Liberian brothers and sisters that no one will be left behind in Liberia's transformation. In this promise, I am speaking directly to the determined market women praying for better days, to the underpaid teachers still waking up every morning to educate the next generation of Liberians, to the security officers sacrificing on the streets of our country to maintain our precious peace, to the underpaid civil servants still working to serve our nation, to the farmers who feed our families, to the small business people who continue to grow our economy, to our carpenters, plumbers, and electricians who are building our country, to our nurses and doctors responsible for healing our nation, to our unbending women who ensure that the values and strength of our families and nation remain. And lastly, our traditional leaders on whose shoulders our country has always relied on for peace and unity. Liberians, we are stronger together. So let us rise and build Liberia together. I know what the Liberian people want because I want the same thing: healthcare, food security, education, transparency in government, and the opportunity and freedom to achieve a productive life. We all want this, and more importantly, we want this change now. Therefore, with great honor and humility, and in representation of the millions of Liberians who deserve a more promising future, I announce my candidacy for President of the Republic of Liberia in this year's elections. Together, we will lead a new generation of visionaries who are educated, prepared, honest, and committed to ensuring great change for our country. I am running for president because we need a new Liberia, and we need it now. Others may have doubted our dreams, but today begins a new day in Liberia. I will never doubt our ability to succeed, because if you fail, I fail, and our generation fails. That we cannot allow. Let us be the generation that brings light into the darkness, that takes our children out of the streets and into the classrooms. Let us be the generation that chooses development over corruption and togetherness over tribalism. Liberia is the greatest country on the continent of Africa. The only thing left for us to do is to prove it. And with God, we will. I believe not only is my presidency possible, but more importantly, I believe the greatness of the Liberian people is also possible. No matter how many times in our past we may not have lived up to our expectations. So this 2023 election is not about being in Liberian politics long. It is about the fact that I am a Liberian who knows that the politics in Liberia must change if we are to change our country. But I also know it will not be easy, and the mountains we will have to climb will be difficult. But I am more than prepared to make it to the top of these mountains, because it is Liberia's destiny that together we will achieve this. We are going to redefine Liberia's greatness, and we will do it step by step, day by day, together. That is why for the past 25 years, I have prepared myself to serve you, and I now stand as the most educated presidential candidate in the history of our nation, having 5 post-secondary degrees from some of the finest schools in the world, having an Associate of Arts degree, a bachelor's, a master's in government, a master's in public administration, and a PhD. For the past 15 years, I've prepared myself by working with both bilateral and multilateral and government institutions, having served at our Liberian Embassy in Washington, D.C., our permanent mission at the United Nations, and our Trade and Investment Office. I have consulted for the World Bank and the African Development Bank's high-level panel on fragile and post-conflict states. I have also held senior positions in the Liberian government, to include serving as the youngest Minister of State with our portfolio in our country's history. I've served as head of the Present Delivery Unit that oversaw the implementation and development of hundreds of millions of dollars of major infrastructure in this country, to include the Red Light to Ganta Highway, the first phase of the Lufa Road, the Roberts International Airport Terminal negotiations, White Plains Water Facility, and the acquisition of rice mills, among many other infrastructure initiatives. I was also fortunate to have served as the youngest chairman of LEC in Liberia's history, where we completed the negotiations for not only Mount Coffee Hydro, but hundreds of millions of dollars towards the transmission and distribution of the electricity grid throughout the country, which includes work on the West Africa Power Pool that links our nation to Côte d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. I have helped to negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars in development to Liberia, not because I wanted a percentage, but because I want a better Liberia, a more empowered Liberia, a prosperous one. So yes, I have been blessed with the opportunities to be educated and have served my nation. But just as important is the character of the person. If we demand that Liberia needs a leader with an absolutely clean record, I ask that you look no further. Not one single individual that I have worked with, interacted, or negotiated with would tell you that I have asked for, received, or even suggested any wrongdoing. That has never and would never happen. I take this time to remind everyone listening to me today that there are good Liberians willing to sacrifice for the good of our nation, willing to give, not gain, willing to build, not break, and willing to empower others and not only themselves. I'm one of those Liberians, and we will lead millions of others who have the courage to dream for a better Liberia. In this coming election, there are two choices to be made by our people. Either we stay in the past and continue to say with regret, only in Liberia, or we choose to move to the future, where we say with pride that Liberia has turned the corner to prosperity. My age of 43 years is a powerful tool that will propel our country into the future. Use my age as proof that there are a new breed of Liberian leaders who will have the energy, the strength, the determination, and vision to carry out the transformation of this country, knowing that my future is tied with the millions of other Liberians who are desperate for a better nation, because Liberia and all of our people deserve better. The last message I would like to give to the people of Liberia today is it is important for you to understand that you are not alone. We have each other. We will always have each other. Your children's future will be brighter than it has been because we have each other. And we will stand together, united. We must do this together because I cannot do this without you. Let me humbly serve you and humbly serve this country to move us forward. To the younger generation of this country who make up 85% of our population, I ask that you look at me. There is a reason I look like you and you look like me. We are the same, born the same time, and we still harbor dreams of a brighter tomorrow. I may have been given more opportunities to succeed than many, but that is why I'm here. I want to lead you all to the same opportunities that I was blessed with. You and your children deserve a better life, and as your president, I promise that you will. My father, Dr. Harry F. Moniba, was given an opportunity to succeed when he was young, with no money to go to school. He became the man he was because someone helped him, believed in him. Someone gave him an opportunity to go to school. I'm here only because someone did that for him. Let me do that for you, for your children, for your families, for our communities and counties, and help me to do this for our country. I'm from Lofa, but Lofa's problems are the same in Nimba, and the same in Bassa, Bong, and Margibi. The challenges in Liberia can be felt in Bapolu, Cape Mount, and Bomi. The suffering can be felt in Monserrado, Sino, Grand Cru, and River Cess. The hunger can be felt in Maryland, Grand Jide, and River G. All of our counties have similar problems, and all families in every county have the same dream, which is to afford a good home in a safe community with good schools and medical care. Therefore, we all have to think as one mind, one heart, and one nation. Because if we as leaders are honest and fair, then no one in Liberia should be suffering, because we have enough natural resources and talent in this country to ensure success for all of our people. So if we are the same and we want the same things, then we can go to the same places and we will never be alone in our fight. My dream is to make Liberia a powerful and thriving country. I believe that is your dream as well. A Liberia of opportunities, where we invest in our people because we believe in our people. I ask you to believe in me because I believe in you. We all believe in our country, and together we will prosper. So if you believe that the true time has come to take our country in a new and better direction, if you believe that our goal as a nation should be to have some of the best hospitals and best public schools in Africa, some of the best roads, best jobs, cleanest and safest communities for all of our people, then I ask that you please join us. If you believe that corrupt politicians should be prosecuted and not protected, I ask that you please join us. My father always said that he did not have money to leave me, but that he would leave me a name and legacy that I would be proud of. And now, what I promised to my late father and my Liberian people is that we will build upon this legacy to ensure that we leave Liberia better, stronger, and more prosperous than we found it. There is only one Liberia. Let us make it the greatest it has ever been, and let us do it together. Thank you, and God bless the great Republic of Liberia.